Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Happy New Year. Happy 2025. It's going to be a great year for all of us. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's nice to come to you in 2025. It's our regular Friday meetings. And today we're going to be bringing a very interesting topic. Our topic today is broad. So you will find me struggling to be able to finish everything because there's a lot of opportunities. And these are opportunities that are, very closely related to what I do every day. So you'll find me trying to kind of finish everything, like to get through everything. I'll be rushing, but call me back or have your pen or your paper so you can write down some things or some questions that you have. And then at the end of the program, you can ask those questions. But ultimately, the major aim of being here today is to provide you guys with lots and lots of opportunities, lots and lots of ways which we can, become, goal-oriented at the beginning of the year and be able to achieve our goal by the end of the year. A lot of people will listen to me and do, faithfully follow, faithfully with what I'm going to be discussing today. But just like always, not everybody would receive this. So, but I'm hoping and, hoping and praying that, you will take some of this information serious and run with it. This is the beginning of the year. And as I was saying, I kind of waited for us to kind of feel the temperature of the system, like after the inauguration of Mr. President of the United States. Congratulations to him. I wanted us to see and feel what it will be like for him, to come on the first day, because most of what you're going to be seeing is, he has already mind or his point. So all what you're going to be seeing in his administration is implementation of about 1,900 and something executive orders that has been signed. So now we're going to go into the ones that pertains to us, but we're not going to dwell on that because we are dealing with different countries like Canada, UK, and US. So congratulations to Mr. Trump. And there's been a lot of changes in different governments, like in Canada, in the UK, there's a lot of changes happening everywhere. But don't panic, guys, don't panic. All you have to do is to be on the right track. Okay, so permit me to get into the program today. All right, so today we're going to be going right into our meeting. Can everybody see my screen, please? Can everybody see our screen? Just one on the comment section. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
We can see you. We can see you, boss. Good evening, sir.
All right, good evening, Mbarun.
We can see you, Boss D. Good evening.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so let's, I just wanted to test that and let's see. All right, let's go right into the program. So now, I just want you to know that you have to start, and you have to start smart. A lot of people have been, I'm not saying this, I'm saying this with all what I want to say now is with, because I know some people that will see it are people that it concerns. So I'm saying this with all respect. There's a lot of people who I told about this program, about coming to the US in 2016. They doubted if the process was real. They didn't take it serious. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. 2021, they started the process. Let's say some of them even started like 2019. And then COVID hit. There was delay in the process. And after 2021, 2022, there was retrogression. So most of them are in the pipeline right now. Like a lot of people that knew about this program early enough, that would have conveniently started the program, didn't, because they felt like it was a scam. They felt like it was not real, okay? And these are programs that as at then was not going to cost them anything to start, because most people that started the program in 2019 they would attest to the fact that it was almost free at that time, because agency would sponsor and do everything for you. All you needed to do was just to indicate your interest, study, and take necessary exams, and then you find yourself in the US. Okay, a lot of people didn't take it serious. Okay, but there are changes right now. So that phase have passed, and I want people to wake up. Some people are still beginning to, like, they come to me every day asking me which agency is sponsoring people for, the US process. I'm able to give you a list of some agencies that will do that for you, but in the long run, just get ready to start. Get ready to start, whether you're going to be financially involved in it or you're going to be doing it with an agency that sponsors. Get ready to start. You have to be mentally ready to start your process of immigrating to another country. This is something that you want to do. This is something that you feel you want to do. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're convinced that you want to start the process. All right, so next thing that I want to talk about is this gentleman right here, procrastination. It has cost a lot of people a huge opportunity. We are talking about opportunity today, and the major thing that kills opportunity is procrastination. So what procrastination does is that it compounds the problem. It makes you just look at the problem. Oh, the problems associated with traveling abroad is because there is retrogression, but you haven't even passed your NCLEX yet. You haven't even written IELTS. So you're just talking about retrogression that doesn't even concern you at that moment. Okay, so you have not started the process. You're thinking about problem of people who are at the end of the process. Okay, the first thing you do is to take care of procrastination. Okay, how you do this is by, or how the procrastination does is by pushing back the important things that you need to do. Just don't worry, we'll do it next year. Let's go and buy land and build house or something like that back home. And then before you know, you get yourself doing nothing because the ends will not seem to be meeting. All right. So, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you look back and feel guilty. So this is the beginning of the year. This is a good time for us to take care of this gentleman. Let's get rid of procrastination in our lives. Okay. Now, let's go into the US immigration tips. There's a lot of things that has happened in the US recently, and majority of it is what I'll be discussing. So if you go to this page right here, the first link I have, this is Trump 2.0. 2.0 is a second term, all right? Second term, that's 2.0. So meaning Trump has been here for the first time. We've seen him, and I used to tell people, Trump is a good guy. I came to the US during Trump's dispensation, his first administration. That's when I came to the US, okay? So this is his second term in the office. And there's a lot of things that will be changing that he didn't change when he was there in the first tenure, okay? One of them is the birthright citizenship, okay? That's one of the major contentions, okay? So what this means is that, a lot of people that have visitors visa, diplomatic visa, like if you're coming from, if you're a diplomat from Kenya, from Gambia, from other countries, like you come here and your wife is pregnant, your wife gives birth here, the question now people are asking is, what is the state of origin of the child? Is it going to be the United States or not? So a lot of contentions are there, but I just want us to look into it a little bit. A lot of people from African countries used to get visitors visa. My first time of coming to the US was in 2015, and I came with my tourist visa. That's a visitor's visa. It's called B1, B2, okay? So your B1, B2 tourist visa gets you here, and you decide to, you and your wife decides to give birth here, okay? Once you give birth here, because you are not a citizen and your wife is not a citizen, both of you, your child will be, I don't know how to put it, but because your child will not be a citizen of the US, and I can't categorically say that your child is a citizen of Nigeria, because somehow Nigeria or any other country they base their citizenship based on like the place of birth. So where were you born? If you go to your birth certificate, it says United States, and you don't see a citizenship there because your parents are how will I put it? They are pilgrims. They are sojourning through the US. So it's a tourist visa. So they are just touring. So somehow if you look at it, it makes sense, right? Because you are just like a pilgrim, you're on pilgrimage. You're just coming here for visits or for tourism, and then you decide to have a baby. Most people actually come here when they are 3 months pregnant or 4 months, 6 months pregnant, and then stay here until they give birth and they go back home. It's sort of, trying to give your child a better life and all that. So that's part of what he's stopping. He's saying one of the parents must be a legal US citizen. Either the husband is already a US citizen and the wife is not, or the wife is and the husband is not. One of the parents has to be a US citizen for you to confer citizenship on the child. Okay? It might not affect majority of you that is on this call, but this is one of the major things that we're having to deal with currently. One of the things that we're dealing with about Trump's administration. All right. So birthright citizenship. Next is study visa. All right. Trump is in favor of study visa. And I want people to take advantage of this, okay? This is the same way that I was talking about H-1B visa last year. I was talking about H-1B visa. I was telling people, come, let's get you H-1 visa. Come, let's get you. A lot of people thought I was joking. And about 9 people that came to us have already gotten their H-1B visa approvals, and the majority of them are coming to the US in the next 2 months, like in April or May, they will be here in the US. Okay, so, and people are back home saying the process is not moving. Personally, I'm telling you, this is working. You understand? So it's working. So the study visa is something that is going to be very, very lucrative. And what I'm asking you to do right now is try as much as possible to secure an admission. If this is a route that you want to go, secure an admission and secure like a rate for your tuition, because Trump is a business guy. He's looking at this study visa, hoping that people who come here after their study will be given citizenship. So that's what he's trying to make. Like, you come here, do a 4 years program, and then after the 4 years, you're given a green card, so that after that green card, you stay 5 years more, and then you can get your citizenship. So making it like 9 years. So you come here, do a 3 or 4 years program, and then after the 3 or 4 years program, you get your green card. And then after the green card, you stay like 5 years, and then you can get your citizenship. Okay, so that's what he's looking at, because he feels that this is a way that US can get talent from the rest of the world. And when US gets that talent, instead of training those people and sending them back to their home country, he's thinking that they can retain. There's a video I wanted to add here so that you can understand and hear from him when he said it. He's thinking that US can retain these people, have them stay within the soil of the US and benefit the US instead of having to go home. But I'm also telling you that he's a business guy. So tuition is going to go high. When he's well situated in his office, one of the areas that he's going to be looking at is if these people are going to come to the US, they have to pay extra. So visa fee will go up, tuition is going to go up, just because he wants to make money for the US. So his major goal is to tax people from foreign countries to be able to pay into the US Treasury. Okay, so that's what he's planning to do. And if he does that and looks into this direction, tuition will go high, and then visa fee will go high. So if you want to go into this, please jump into it right now and get the best rate before the rates begin to go up. Okay, that's one thing I want to ask on, chip in on that. All right, so it's going to be a very good venture, and I'm going to discuss one particular program about the study visa that affect the nurses later on this program. Okay, so now let's talk about the EB3 visa. EB3 visa is our darling visa. We love it. We love EB3 visa because EB3 visa gives you an opportunity to come here with your family, your wife, and your wife can work, your husband can work, and there is no restriction to the number of hours that you can work. It's employment-based visa. So EB means employment. E means employment, B just based. Employment-based visa tier 3. Okay, there's tier 1, there's tier or category. So there's category 1, category 2, category 3. Okay, and the same thing with F1 visa. There's F1, there's F2, and the rest of them. So EB3 visa is still going to be going, but what I'm seeing, what I'm looking at that might happen is because of the fact that they're going to be shifting interest into people coming in here, studying here, and getting a job after their study. That's where majority of the quota for visa is going to go. So I'm expecting, I'm not a prophet of doom, I'm not predicting, but I'm expecting that, you know, the quotas that they give to EB3 visas might not be as much as they used to give before. And that can also inform you of why there is retrogression, because retrogression just means that there is limited availability of visas and people are being treated on first come, first serve. So if we have 100 visas for people in West Africa, we have to divide the 100 visa by the number of countries that is in West Africa. And then those countries in West Africa will have to, you know, take it based on first come, first serve. So if you have your priority date before 2022 December, you are going to be able to approach the embassy and get a visa. But somebody who wrote NCLEX in 2023 and just got fired in 2024 cannot really approach the embassy for a visa. You can't even get an interview date in most of the African countries. So that's what is happening. That's what's been happening with the slow in the process. And you can tell that this was the, you know, the thing that was coming. The Trump administration was coming and it was repositioning everything. So majority of the processes are being changed. Majority of the processes are being shuffled. You know, majority of things that has been in existence, like the birthright citizenship that I talked about, has been in existence since like 1940 something, when the US did their amendment and the rest of that. And since then, it has also, it's been non-existent and nobody has touched it ever since then. That's how it has been. This is the first time they are changing the policy, but it's an executive order, which means that another president can come in 4 years and say, you know what, I don't like this thing. I need to change it back to how it was before. And before you know it, things will begin to go back to how it was. Will another president come that I know that will do this? I don't know. Because if it's going to come from the Republican Party, another president, hopefully if it does, then the person will continue in the steps of Trump. Well, of course, you know how kingmakers does. So when a kingmaker leaves office, he will put another king that will listen to him. So I'm not going that direction, but I'm just giving you to broaden your mind. Think about it in a very broadened way. Okay, so EB3 visa will still be there. It will still be a good process that people will use, but it might see a little bit of slowness. You know, then it will pick up again. All right. So B1, B2 tourist visa. B1, B2 tourist visa is, you know, is a way that people come here. Some people were lucky in the past and they were able to come with B1, B2. They get into a school here and then they change their status and then they begin to do a program, or some people get here with B1, B2 and they get married. You know, it's not a secret thing. It's something that a lot of people have been doing. So that is also an option, and that's also something that is still valid that people can still use. So the visa bulletin and the retrogression, I've talked about it a little bit. So what to expect in them is that, you know, there's going to be a slow rise. So we've seen the bulletin was just steady at 2022 for some time. Now. So you're just going to see that a little slowness in that visa bulletin until the government that just came in, you know, gets their fitting and gets well in the system, and then they will begin to see other things that might happen. Now, what are the changes that you might see? So what you're going to see is that all the Trump policies is going to shock the system. Is going to shock the system in the sense that there is a lot of people singing praises to him now, but there's also majority of people going to court challenging what Trump has actually sent on his executive order. But can executive order be challenged? I don't know. That's the thing. Can executive order be challenged? And if it can be challenged, when you win an executive order, does it stop him from, you know, kind of remodifying what he said and saying it in another way, and you keep on going to court? You know, there's a lot of people who are challenging the birthright citizenship, challenging the VA freeze. There's another policy that he made to freeze jobs for people who are in the US looking to get into federal government jobs in the US. So he's freezing those jobs. Even people that have been given job already, they are rescinding their job offers. They're telling them, in fact, we gave you job last 3 months. We are telling you you don't have job anymore because of Trump's policy. So a lot of things is happening to the system. All these things will cause pressure groups to rise up. There's going to be a lot of pressure groups that will rise up that will fight for the interest of the people. And one thing you would know about Trump is that he listens to the people. So whenever the pressure groups get so overwhelming, what you're going to have is that some of these policies will be revisited, and he might try to take some of them back, and the system will begin to normalize. Another thing that might happen is that if this whole Trump administration policies, if it makes inflation in the country to go up, if it makes prices of things to go up, if it makes the American economy to go very bad, then he would turn around and begin to look at these policies again and maybe begin to reconsider how to change the policies. All right, I don't want to dwell so much on this place because we have a lot to discuss today, like I said. All right, so but if you have questions on this slide, just put it down and then we'll talk about it, as we get to the question time. All right, so Trump is not your problem. So I said this to mean that a lot of people are now like, oh man, this guy is now in office. You know what? I'm not going to go to US again. Let me go to UK. Let me go to Saudi Arabia. Let me go to this place. Man, you can do that. It's your decision. If you want to do that, you can. Actually, it's your decision. But is Trump your problem? No, he's not. Because number one, you've been there for God knows how long. You didn't want to take this opportunity. And then now he's not even against you because you're coming here as as illegal immigrants. So Trump has been after immigrants who have committed crime in the US. So you would see a lot of narratives. People are pushing false information on the media, showing that Trump has started, he's chasing back people. In fact, I saw one post that says, expect your brother who is in the US, I'm not sending you money. Very soon they will deport him, that kind of thing. So I've seen posts like that. People are kind of making jokes and saying that they're expecting their brothers who are in the US that are not, cooperating and sending them money. When they come back home, they will be the one to stay with them and, maybe punish them or kind of something like that. But let me tell you one thing. So Trump, so far as you've not committed any crime in the US, Trump is not against you. Majority of people who he's after is people who have committed crime in the US. Is a big issue when you stay here and commit a crime. Most of them have raped people, have stolen from people, violent crimes. There's a lot of things that, a lot of people that have been caught right now are doing, and they are catching them. So ICE primarily right now is going after people who have committed crime in different places. So if you're in the US and you're listening to me, one of the things that you should do is that when you're going out, just go with your document. If you're a permanent resident, go with your document. If you're a tourist in the US, please kindly go with your tourist visa or your international passport, go with it. If you are a resident, if you are on a resident permit in the US, please kindly carry one of your cards or one of the major IDs on your pocket, because sometimes when they get you because of some racial discrimination, they might not really listen to you when you say some things. So it might, and then most of the time, they might get you if they feel like, dude, what they are saying is right, and what you're saying is wrong. They might not give you a listening ear. So, but if you have any evidence on you to show that you are a illegal immigrant in the US or that you're a legal tourist in the US, you can present it and show it to them. All right. So that's what I wanted to say. So number one, get your NCLEX. He's not your problem. Get your NCLEX done. He's not your problem. It doesn't stop you from taking your NCLEX. It doesn't stop you from taking your IELTS. In fact, some people that are talking to me, that are asking me, now that Trump is there, what can we do? I asked them, do you even have an international passport? And they said no. And I'm like, what are you doing? Where do you want to go to? You understand? You can't go anywhere on barefoot. You have to go with your international passport. At least go get your international passport. Get ready. You understand? Get ready. Also, Japa is not cheap, so you have to save for it, okay? Somebody is writing on my screen. So you have to save for it, okay? So saving for it means that you have to have money that you're going to use for the process, especially for those of you that are married. You have to have money that you're going to use to bring your family over, okay? So you have to save. So save for the process and save in dollars. So majority of the African countries, most of our currencies are not stable, okay? So the best way to save your money is if you have if you have money today and it's enough to get you $100 to keep, just get $100 in $100 bill, go to exchange bureaus and get it and keep. You understand? When you want to use it in dollars, you have money readily available, because by that time you want to use it, the rate may have gone high. Those in Nigeria, Ghana, and the other African countries may understand what I'm saying. Because of the instability of the rates, it's better you cash in when the rates are low, buy your dollars and keep when the time comes. Even if you want to use it in the same currency where you bought it from, you can as well change it at that time and use it. Or just open a domiciliary account and save your money in a DOM account, in a dollar account or something, whatever you call it, save your money right there so that when you need it, you can just go there, pick the money back and use it. Even if you don't want to use it in the USD currency state, you can use it in your own currency. All right. So that's what I wanted to say about this slide. And then the study abroad option. So now here I'm going to go deep into this option a little bit, because a lot of people just come here, they come here, they study anything, and by the time they are done with their program, like I saw somebody who studied was it music, and the lady was asking me how can she, like, get a job. I don't employ for music, so I don't know how to help at that. So but there are jobs that you should get into. So the Trump policy is in support of study visa. That's just what I want to let you know. Whatever policy is put out there is actually encouraging people to come to the US and learn. Okay, come to the US, learn, and get a green card. So that's the way. I don't know, for some of you that have gone to Canada, they also have such program. Once you finish a post-study visa, post-study permanent residency benefits are given to people who come and do a program in their country. So this is the same thing that Trump is trying to do here. Okay, so come to the US, study, and after your study, you can get a visa. All right. So one of the things that also must be noted is that when you're coming or picking a choice of some course to study, make sure they are in science. STEM means science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So these are the core areas, core 4 areas that US needs help in. Like, they need people to come from different walks of life, from different countries, and study things in this area, in science, in technology, in engineering, in mathematics. So that's the project. And once you're able to do any course in these 4 major areas, at the end of your course, you can actually apply for something they call National Interest Waiver. So National Interest Waiver will give you the opportunity to be able to get into, to be able to get a visa, to stay here, maybe a green card, or, something that just gives you the eligibility to stay here and work. Okay, so if you don't study anything under this STEM project, you may not be able to get some of these benefits. So it's good to come here and study, but when you're coming to study, make sure you're studying something that is relevant, okay? So study things in STEM, in technology, in engineering, and in mathematics. So that's what I want to say about that. And UK study pathway. In the UK study pathway, there is a lot of pathways to go to the UK, but there is a carer pathway that was very, very in existence as at 2020, 2021, 22. People were leaving different countries, going to UK as carers. But you will notice that there is a slow, like the process is slowing down because of some foreign policies that UK government made about that. So, but the UK study pathway is still a viable option for people who want to go to the UK. So if you are trying to go to the UK to study, you can come to us. We have a department in our firm that takes care of study visas. We can help you get a study visa, be it in US, in UK, and in Canada. We can help you process the study visas to all these countries and help you with all your, pre-study preparations, getting your flights, getting your accommodation when you get to that, and also connecting you with a bunch of other students that we have in those countries that can help you to kind of get into the system very well when you arrive, be it US, UK, and in Canada. All right, so that's it about this slide. So H-1B visas, I want to start by explaining what H-1B visa is. So H-1B visa is a dual intent visa, okay? It's dual intent in the sense that you can use it as an immigrant visa, you can use it as a non-immigrant visa. So it has two intents. It can serve as an immigrant visa. It can also serve as a non-immigrant visa. So it can serve as an immigrant visa in the sense that when you get H-1B visas, they're going to give you an opportunity to work in the US for 3 years, and it's also renewable. So after 3 years, you can renew it for another 3 years. But the essence of these renewals are that you would have filed for your green card during that time that you're renewing. So if you are at the second stage of your H-1B visa and you have not filed for your renewal, you must be making a very huge mistake. I have so many people that are on the call, but they are unable to get in. I don't know why. Oh my word, I have 70-something people who are not in. Wow. I don't know what's happening. It should be a problem with Zoom. I apologize. We've actually upgraded this Zoom 500 for the entire year. Okay, so I'll make sure I fix this. If you are, if you're unable to get into the program, I'll make sure I fix this at the end of this program. But I can't stop the program to fix it now. So, but we'll make sure we'll fix it at the end of the program. So let's come back to H-1B. So H-1B visas are they're of two types. Okay, there's a H-1B and then the H-1B2. So you have the cap exempt also, and the ones that are not cap exempt. I'll come to that. There are different categories, different ways to categorize them. So you have H-1B and the H-1C. So H-1B visas are for employers of labor of different departments. They can get people into the US, hire people from foreign countries into the US to be able to solve the shortage of labor problem in the US hospitals or US companies, because it's not just the hospital that does H-1B filing. There's different hospitals, different companies that do H-1B filings, okay? So there is a H-1B1, okay? The one that is B1, the category, that's one. That one you see at the end is the category. There's a H-1B1, the H-1B2. So H-1B1, that category is for people from select countries. I think about 2 countries that are neighboring the US that is given a priority in that. So there are 2 countries that are neighboring the US, given a priority that they can come through that program to come into the US and work for 3 years and renew it for 3 years. And during that time, they can get their green cards, okay? So the H-1B2 and the H-1C is now the one we are talking about that relates to us. Okay, the nurses, the H-1C is the one that was made for medical facilities to hire nurses and people who have unrestricted license so that they can come to the US and study. So all this H-1B that we talked about, with all the cap that we have, like the annual cap is 65 visas. So they have 65 visas to offer. So, and then when I say 65, it's not 65 visa for the applicant, the primary applicant. The secondary applicants or the spouse of those applicants are also covered in their visa. So that's one. So if I'm getting a H-1B visa now and my spouse is getting one, so we are getting one H-1B visa, because it goes with me, my wife, my children, all of them, we can come on that H-1B. But it has its own pros and cons, because somebody on a H-1B2, that's the person that is a spouse of someone who has H-1B, might not be able to get a job unless you get your own H-1B so that you can work. All right, so it's also an additional thing. Then you also have additional 20,000. And then you're talking about this 65 and 20,000, that's 85,000 for the entire globe, like the entire world. A lot of people are struggling for this. A lot of people are fighting for it. Like, is their prayer point. Every beginning of the year, they keep praying that they get selected, on the H-1B, you understand? So now the H-1B, it comes as a lottery also. So employers do this as a lottery programs for people they've hired abroad. So you do it and then you're selected. Like we applied for roughly about 30 people or 35 people, last year, and then 9 people were selected, which is a good number. All right. So now 9 people were selected, 9 people are coming to the US under us. So, but I know that majority of other companies, they have numbers. They can apply for as many people as they want. And then during the lottery system, people are selected, and those people who are selected end up coming to the US on those H-1Bs. So there is the lottery one, and then there is the one that is cap exempt. For the non-profit organizations, people who own hospitals, like churches that own hospitals, they are able to get H1B without going through the lottery system. So they can just apply for H1B because they can be exempted based on their class. They can be exempted based on their class. So they can actually get people into the US without having to go through the lottery system. Okay, so I hope it kind of answers your question about H1B. H1B will be opened again in February, ending from February ending March, then first week of April. That's when it ends. So if you are interested in getting a H1B for next year, for this year, you can let us know at the end of the program, and then we can start collecting them. We haven't really started out. The department is kind of cooling off a little bit with all the recruitment process for the previous people, but we are going to start, hiring again for H1B as we go on. All right. So next is direct hospital hire. So there are different ways you can come to the US. You can come to the US through any of this pathway. You can come to the US through, as a registered nurse, through an agency, there's a program called OF1 visa with work plus study. So now I'll talk about all these things in a minute. So, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of issues. They believe that going through agencies is better than going through direct hospital hire. It's been a contention for some time. But I just want to say that just do what you want to do. You took your NCLEX by yourself, and then you passed your NCLEX. So now is a time of decision making. You can choose who you want to work with. But I will tell you the pros and cons of all of this, okay? So agencies, what agencies does, they are like middlemen, okay? But this one is an executive VIP middleman, because what they do is that they come to you, they hire you, they do all the process for you, and then they bring you here and you work for them. So you're not really working for the hospital, you're working for the agencies that brought you. All right, I'm talking about the US process. So you work for the hospital, the agency that brought you, and the hospital that you work in, which is your place of assignment, okay, they pay your agency, and then your agency pays you, okay? So that's how it happens. Now, some people have been saying, my agency is cutting my money. So now, when you have interview with your agency, when your agency decide, oh, you're going to be paid XYZ amount of money, and you did not negotiate that, that's on you, okay? That's gonna be on you. So when you're working with agency tells you how much they're going to pay you. You continue like that. You tell them, okay, this is what I want to get. You must have done your research of like the states where they're trying to employ you, and how much is the living wage, minimum wage in that state, how much is the expected income that you're supposed to have in that state. If you've done all those research and you're okay with the research you've made, then you can go ahead and go with the agency. One thing I promise you with agency, majority of you that are with agencies, is that they will pamper you to a fault. They will make sure that you have everything. They will call you, they will check on you, they will do many things for you. They'll just be on you trying to make sure you're successful on the job. Because if you lose that job, they have lost money. So they will make sure that you're successful on the job. All right. So, but direct hospital hire, you're coming in as a staff, a competent staff at that matter. So most of the direct hospital hires, you come in and people are expecting so much from you, and there is no advocate. There's nobody that is going to speak for you. Like, there's nobody that is going to come and say, oh, he's from an international country, he doesn't know how to use a BP cuff. Nobody's going to say that. Or this machine is not the kind of machine he uses in his country. Nobody. You're just going to be speaking for yourself. Okay, but it's not bad in the sense that, direct hospital hire, you get higher pay, sometimes you get full benefits. So if this hospital is giving, let's take for instance, if the hospital is giving sign-on bonuses, for instance. They will give you, if they give $15,000 sign-on bonus, you will get it. You know, if they give 20,000 sign-on bonus, you will get it because you're getting into the hospital directly, and this money comes to you, and then but you just have to know that, you know, in this journey, you're going to be either making use of your, you know, people that you know, like some of us that are here already in the US. You can call us, you can, you know, tell, I have this challenge, and how do I take care of this? And then we'll be able to assist you, you know, with that. Okay, so agencies are good. Direct hospital hires are good as well. I cannot speak against any of them. It's all your choice. Anyone you choose brings you to the US, and I'm in support of it. All right, but there is something that is coming in. And I think it's coming in timely because of the Trump administration, okay? So with all the things that Trump is doing, he's in support of study, right? So this agency called Interstaff, they are able to bring you here on an OF1 visa category. And then it comes with full work. It's not like you're coming here as a student and you work 20 hours alone. No, you're going to work full hours, which means you can even work overtime. You understand? On this kind of visa category, because you have CPT requirements, which means you should be a BSN holder. You're looking to do a master's degree program, and your master's degree program has a clinical expectation from you. And because of that clinical expectations that it has, you're supposed to be working in a hospital, working full time to be able to meet up your clinical hours. All right, so it solves problems for a lot of things. So you can come here on an OF1, and I think I'm going to bring them again. I've brought them in my program before, but I think they're also in my program for this year. I'm going to bring them again because majority of people, I think, will benefit from their program, because when they bring you here, they are paying part of your tuition, which is very big on the US. Like a lot of people that are in the US are owing tuitions. So they are owing a lot of loan because they studied in the US. So they're going to pay part of your tuition. You're going to work for them, they'll be paying you, and then you'll be studying, you know, and the rest of them. So it's a very beautiful program that I would like to bring them on here so that they can explain. I also have a partner again on direct hospital hire, and I have a partner on agency level. So I'm going to be bringing all of them, you know, from time to time so that they can explain the benefits. All I'm doing is bringing you the opportunities, right? So if I bring you the opportunities, you are the one that is supposed to now choose which one of those opportunities that you want to take. All right. So the decision is for you to make. Okay, but I'll make sure I bring those opportunities your way. All right. Thank you so much on that. I'm going to break a little bit because it looks like I've been talking for so long. I'm going to break a little bit and take questions in between. I didn't plan for this, but I think it will be a wise thing to do. So far, so good. I've talked about a lot of things that relates to nursing. We're going to move a little bit away from nursing right now and talk about regular jobs, remote jobs that you can do in the US, in UK, and in Canada. That's where we're getting into. But before we get there, I want to give everybody opportunities. It's going to be like 10 minutes. We'll just take 10 minutes to ease off, answer questions on various areas that I've mentioned. If you want to ask any question, raise your hand. I will ask you to unmute, and then I will let you ask your question. So I'm ready to take questions. If you have any question, you can raise your hand, and then I will ask you to unmute and ask your question. All right, I'm ready. So if you're ready, let's go. All right, while that is going on, I have some comments on the comment section. So if you raise your hand, I will still see you, but let me go to the comment section. All right, so let me look at, it looks like we have some questions. Okay, so I have a question, which is a very nice question on the comment section. Somebody is asking, he said, Basil is asking, said, must it be 3 to 4 year program for you to get a PR? What of 1 year program? So these are the gray areas of his policies that has not been kind of finalized. So we don't know if there's going to be like a cap, you know, to how many years program you can do. Like in Canada, if you do a 1 year program, you don't get the post-study, you understand? But if you do 2 year program, 3 years program, at the end of it, you can get the post-study PR, okay? So for now, for that, I do not have an answer to it, if it must be 3 years or 4 years. But for me, I know that for sure, if it is 3 years or 4 years, I know that you must get it. But if it's 1 year and under, I'm not very sure that you will get it. Remember, his major goal is to bring people to the US and also make money off they are coming to the US. And where they will make this money more is when you do a program that you stay on for a longer time. All right, so that's the answer to your question. I hope I answered your question, Basil. Okay, Chiazo Osuala is also saying, with the study visa, will the person have the opportunity to work? Of course, yes, the person will have the opportunity to work with study visa. All right. And then I have another question from Stella. I said, for a priority date of 2023 June, could H1B be an option in the whole delay with the EB3? Of course, the H1B can be an option if it's coming from the same employer. So your employer can decide to do a H1B for you. If you have the same employer can file your priority, your H1B application. You can do that. It's an option. So having passed NCLEX with, somebody is asking a question. I just missed it. So having passed NCLEX with Canada Board of Nursing, can Interstaff help me migrate to the US? Yes, of course they should. They should be able to help you pass and migrate to the US. What is the age limit for nurses? Cornelius, there is no age limit for nurses. As long as you have the strength to work, you are eligible to come to the US on any of these visa categories that we mentioned. You are eligible to come to the US and work. All right, so someone else is saying, Cornelius, I think someone said, okay, I've done that. So having passed NCLEX with T-Bone, can Interstaff help me migrate? Yes, they can. And I'll put their link in all our platforms at the end of the program. Okay, I worked in the UK back in 2002 till 2005, willing to relocate Colin to South Africa. So you want to relocate to UK or you want to relocate to US? So I just want to know the direction of your question. All right. So Oluwatoyin is saying, with Interstaff, can someone migrate with the family and will the spouse be able to work? Yes, they'll be able to work if you are on a different category of visa. But for this OF1 visa, no, your spouse will not be able to work at that. That is another downside of it. And that's why I want them to come and expand on some of these topics, okay? And then we have Gabriel say, please, do we have any agency for UK route for medics? For now, no. I don't have any one now that I can mention, but I know that some of these processes like the CBT, we can help you do your CBT. We can help you, get you connected to people in UK. If you want to do your OSCE, we have people that do OSCE, but it's not like we have a place, a home that you can get all of these things in one place. So we have another question from Louisa. Louisa said, having priority date of December 2022, can any of these routes be beneficial? So December 2022, you're almost current. So what I would advise is stay put. If it moves up a little bit, you find yourself receiving ID. So you're almost there. So good evening, please. Can someone migrate with the family on student route? Yes, you can. You can migrate with your family on student route. And then the last one that I have here is, are there agencies ready to sponsor for study? That's the Interstaff that I talked about. They are sponsoring partially for study. They are not sponsoring everything. Then said, if someone migrates with B1, B2 visitors visa, what options does the person have? You have to change it to study. You have to get admission into a school and change that visa to study visa. And then from there you can, and then your spouse, actually, what I can say is, if you want to migrate, don't think so much about your spouse. When your spouse come here, for sure, they are going to get something to do. So let me give Baronye Precious opportunity to ask a question. Precious, I've asked you to unmute. You can ask your question now.
Okay, thank you very much, boss. You just answered my question because I typed it. I was the one that asked if someone comes over using visitor's visa, what options the person has to change that visa from study to something else. And again, if there are agencies that are ready to sponsor for the study, so at least someone can be working and paying them back.
Right.
You have already answered that. Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Sam. Sam, you have a question. I've asked you to unmute.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you very much for the presentation. Please, my question is for someone that is having currently my priority date is May 2024, and so will this HB1 route be advisable for me? Even though I know I've asked my agent before and they said they don't do that.
Yeah. So
Secondly,
H1B would have been okay. Go ahead. You have a second question. Go ahead.
secondly, I still have my valid visa, tourist visa. I don't know if I could come over, and please, probably I will contact you after this session to give me personal advice.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be more than happy also to chip into it right here. So for the agencies that do not have that H1B option, just be listening to them, be very attentive to them. Very soon they might change their mind, because with the temperature of the system right now, there's a lot also happening with diversity, inclusion criteria of the US system and US workplace. So there's a lot happening already. So with time, if those agencies, change their mind, just make sure you keep checking with them, because if they change their mind, you might, find yourself being applied for on that H1B route. Okay. Majority of agencies also are doing the study visa route. Okay. Majority of them are going towards the study, to be able to get people here on a study and then have them work and study. So I've gotten 3 very solid agencies that are, kind of discussing that, and most of them, reached out and said, this is what we're trying to do. And I'm like, okay, this is a very good option. And Interstaff is already doing it already. So yeah, for sure, it will be a great option. So also you were asking about whether you could come with your visitor's visa. Well, you can come to the US with your visitor's visa, but it depends on a lot of things. Your family dynamics, I have to understand that before I give you an advice. I have to understand, your goal. What are you trying to achieve if you want to come to the US with the visitor's visa? So that if you have some crazy expectations that I know that you're not going to meet, I will tell you, see, this is not going to be possible. So if this is the reason why you're coming, just drop it, follow the route that you're following. When it matures, you come. And one thing I want to say to everyone is, if you have written your NCLEX and you have done your process, you've gotten a priority date, see, you are in the right track. Don't rush anything. Sometimes a lot of things that we rush in life, you find out that we end up regretting it. Okay, don't rush anything. You are on the right track. Okay, so if this process takes 3 years to come to fruition, don't worry, wait out the process, wait out the entire process. And at the end of the day, you come here, you have peace of mind. Okay, so one of the things that you wouldn't want to have when you come to the US is, like, you're walking on the road and you see a police, and the first place your mind goes to is, what if this police light I see right now is the last police light I will see in the US, and I find myself in Lagos or in South Africa or in Ghana or in Kenya? You understand? They will just take you. If you don't want to be in any of those situations where your blood pressure will be rising, on every incident that happen around you, you want to be able to walk freely on the street, because you have the legal documents to live here. So rushing might put you in that place where you don't have peace of mind for the next 4 or 5 years. If you come here with a visitor's visa, for instance, and you overstay your visa, and then you become an illegal immigrant. As an illegal immigrant, they can remove you at any time. You understand? So that's what you don't want to do. So, but for people who are very smart, what they do is they come here with B1, B2. On reaching here immediately, they reach here, they start looking for admission. And for you to be able to do some of these things, you need to have that flexibility. Like, you're not married, or you're married and you're coming with a B1, B2, and your wife also has B1, B2. So both of you are coming on that B1, B2. So it gives you that flexibility to be able to take some of these decisions. But if your wife is in Nigeria and or in South Africa or Kenya or Ghana, and you're coming here on a B1, B2, and you're telling her, don't worry, in 2 years' time, I'll come back, it's not going to work. 2 years is too short for you to get yourself into the system, get the necessary documents to be able to travel home and come back. I'm just trying to be very honest with all of you. All right. So for now, Sam, if you reach out to me, we can assess your situation and know how best, to give you advice. Okay. And remember, I'm not an attorney. I am not, this is a disclaimer.
Yes.
All the advice I'm giving you is based on life experiences of people who have come to us in the past and who've been able to help. So Paul Ejimba, Paul, if you still have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, Boss D, good evening.
Good evening, Paul.
Thank
How
you
are
for
you doing?
always looking out for us. I'm fine, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's actually on this OF1 visa that you mentioned. I don't know if it's a good day for someone to leverage on it, someone that has passed NCLEX already. Although I got somehow discouraged because he said the spouse will not be able to work.
Yeah. So
but
the
once I
reason
migrate
why I'm saying everything, sorry to cut you short, is that I want to give you full disclosure. You understand?
Yes.
Your spouse will not be able to work on your dependence, like on your visa. Okay, so for your spouse to work, your spouse has to get her own visa. So are there hospitals in the US that want to, file for H-1B for people who are already here? Yes, there's a lot. So far you are in status, like you have not overstayed your visa. You understand? Yes, you can get options. So a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to do it because of this, but you don't know what options you have if you come here and do it, what opportunities that are there for you. There's a lot of opportunities. In fact, I know of someone, she is a registered nurse. The husband is studied, I think, economics or something. The husband is going to school. Both of them came on a B1, B2. The husband is going to school. The wife is a registered nurse. Currently, there's a hospital filing H1B for the wife, and they're trying to employ her because she's passed her NCLEX. So she's employment ready. So it depends. Its situations are different. Okay?
Okay. So, but the OF1 visa can be switched to EB3 visa.
Of course, for sure. Yeah, that's the program that the Interstar people are doing. So once you come in here, after 1 year, they file for EB3 for you. So that EB3 now takes over and then continues your process. So with that EB3, once it kicks in with your family and all of you get the green card.
Okay. But you don't know how long that can take.
It doesn't take up to 6 months. The only problem that I've seen on that is the availability of dates for interview in different countries. So for Nigeria, for instance, you might go to their embassy, US embassy website, you see that the next available date for you to go to interview might be in December, for instance. You understand? But if you have embassies that have very close dates, you can actually do your interview and get to the US as early as 6 months, into the process. So it's something that works very well. I think there's one person from Ghana that has already used this process to travel to the US. So, but when I bring them, you said?
The principal person is the nurse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, the
I'm
principal
currently in
person.
Saudi Arabia, so
okay.
I don't know if
it's something that we can give a try at the end of the program. Like I said, reach out and we can give it a try. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Sounds good. So last question before we go back. I think we spent 10 minutes wisely. I'm going to get a last question from Cornelius. Cornelius, you can unmute and ask your question.
Oh, hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Cornelius. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
Good.
Yes, as I highlighted earlier on, I worked in the UK from 2002 to 2005.
Okay.
Now I've lost my PIN number. What is the best way to apply again to relocate to the UK?
Okay, you lost your PIN number. Have you reached out to the NMC to try to retrieve your PIN number?
Yes, I've sent them several emails with no response at all.
Oh. Have you called them?
Oh, that will be a challenge to call. It's very expensive. You calling from South Africa. I haven't done that.
Okay. because I think you would, that's an option you would want to explore, to kind of call them and get your PIN back, because it's something that should be on their archive. You understand? They
Yeah.
might ask you some very specific questions, and when you provide those answers correctly, you should be able to get your PIN back. Okay, so consider,
Yeah.
saving up money to call them, and then let me know how it goes. All right, I have people in the UK that can help, but try and call them first. And then if there's any need for further assistance, just let me know, then we can use our support system in the UK.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the program.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, how is South Africa today?
Always raining, but it was a little bit hot today.
Okay, all right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.
Bless you too. Let's go right back into our program, guys. I guess everybody got a little time to cool off. There's a lot of information. Maureen, Inusa, keep that question, okay? I'm going to come to you, okay? And if you can, Cornelius, if you can bring down your hand. Maureen, you can keep your hand so that we can come back to you at the end. We have other questions in the comment section. I see them. Please keep them there. We're coming back to those questions, okay? So, but for now, let's get right into the program. All right. So there are so many remote jobs that you can do in the US. And this is actually for spouse of people who want to come to the US. A lot of times I've gotten spouse that come to the US unprepared. In fact, I should have said this without recording it. Many marriages have broken in the US. Many people you knew that came to the US as married couple, right now they're not living as married couple anymore, because the family dynamics has changed. The man was making more money back home, and then they come to the US, the woman is now making more money. And then because of that, some women, they become so pompous, and then the whole family situation just goes apart. There's a lot of places. It has happened severally. I've handled, I've begged, I've cried, I've had to travel to go to meet some couple, to talk to them, just to see if we can save their marriage. But a lot of them are not, a lot of those marriages have not been, saved for some time. So I noticed that the reason why is because some men, they come here and they feel relaxed, and they somewhat depend on the wife to provide for them. They feel like they can't do Uber, they can't do some of these menial jobs. And, the wife know that they were bank managers back home. How can you subject the bank manager to come and start riding Uber? Now, the thing is, you can do remote jobs. As a bank manager back home, all you need is to take some of these courses, and then you can do remote jobs from the comfort of your home, and you can even earn as much as your wife is earning. You can earn even more than your wife. And once you're able to bring something and put on the table, the respect might come back. I'm not saying all women are like that. Please don't judge me. What I'm saying is based on what I've seen. Okay, so most women are very respectful. I have one. Oh, my wife. Yeah, I have so many people that I also know, very respectful. They work well with their spouse. In terms of finances, they never allow money to become a problem for them. Also, apart from money being a problem, some priorities are different. Some men get so frustrated when they come to the US because they feel like when they come to the US, things are just going to be boom, 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 get better. No, it's not a get rich quick scheme, okay? So US is a place of hustle. You have to hustle. You have to work hard. Don't ever think that you're coming to the US is to come and relax, Netflix and chill, and then have money into your account every blessed day. You understand? It doesn't work that way. You have to be smart, you have to work, and then before you can eat. Okay, in fact, bills to pay will pile up. As soon as you miss 1 month paycheck, you would find yourself, scampering for how to pay your bills, especially if you're not saving, if you don't have emergency funds. Okay, so now, what are the jobs that you can do remotely from home? So encourage your spouse, or if they are here on this meeting, let them get into content creation. You would think is, but a lot of people are making so much money from it. Even somebody just narrating the way that they came to the US, you begin to gather followers on the internet. And before you know it, a lot of people begin to follow you and like your page and comment. And before you know it, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they will all start paying you. Okay, so it's something that they can do. Then also video and audio editing, web design, SEO optimization, Microsoft Office, UI, UX design, graphic design, coding, data analysis, technical support. There is a website called Upwork. You know, if you gain any of these skills, okay, just go to Upwork, create a profile there, and then just put your number. You will see your phone buzzing every time. Many people on Upwork are cashing out. If you go there, you see earned $89,000 since activation of account. So somebody has been there, earned $89,000 on that website after activating the person's account, and the person is just in his house making that money. Some people have been employed by various companies from those websites. You're working for them full time, okay? Just by getting any of this. So when you have a phone, you can actually do that. So phone is not just to scroll on Facebook, watch TikTok movies and all that. No, you can use your phone more productively, okay? You can use it in a productive way. So I even saw recently, Elon Musk was trying to hire anybody from any part of the world that has a skill in programming. In programming, if you know how to do programming, then he could hire. So there's a lot of things, opportunities out there, but these are the ones that are readily available. You can pick up this skill in as little as 3 weeks. And when you pick up some of these skills, you create a profile, add it there that you can do this, and people will reach out to you for you to do it for them. All right, coding, data analysis, technical support. There's some people that also act as front desk. They will just route the phone number of their office to your phone number. So you will just be picking calls. If anybody calls the company, you say, hello, this is Decency Academy, how may we help you? And you take down everything that the person is saying and you connect to your supervisor solves the problem, then you solve the problem for the person. That's it. So they work like a front desk IT support. They just help, take calls, front desk support and all that. So customer service, desk support, and then they do digital marketing, basic data entry, online retail and e-commerce, remote work tools, and virtual assistant training. So they can do any of these things. They can become virtual assistants for different companies. So these are some things that they can do. It has not finished yet. So remote customer service, you can be a social media manager, you can be a healthcare IT support. You can support the IT of a different hospitals. You can do DevOps engineering, data analysis, all those coding and the rest of them, home-based jobs, and then you have delivery and logistics, warehouse and inventory management, hospitality and retail, and then there's an inventory management in the hospital as well that is making waves right now. Like people who just keep account of how much items they have in different hospitals, they do that from their home because they get notifications when those items are used, and they're able to say how much quantity that is remaining, and then order for more when some of the items are beginning to finish. They can order for more. So there's a lot, call centers, safety, project managers. There's a lot of things that you can do. So is this not an opportunity? If you don't see it as an opportunity, you need some lens, because if you really do some of these courses, you'll be earning in dollars, even from your country, even from where you are right now. You can do some of these courses, go to Upwork, upload your profile. First of all, view people's profile on Upwork. And then you can see all the things that a lot of people are doing there. And then you can upload, create your own profile, say what you can do there, and you will earn money from the comfort of your home. You earn money from your home. So even before you come here, you can be earning in dollars. So try that. It's remote jobs, which means you can do it from anywhere. All right. So also, there's a lot of nurses that have come here. They've worked for so long and they are tired of working bedside. They are so tired. They don't want to work bedside anymore. Because, the way you are, praying to God, asking God, I want to go to US. I would like to work in the US. I work with all my heart, blah, blah, blah. Some people have come here just 4 years. and they are tired of the hospital system in the US. They are saying it's too stressful. We stand on our feet all night long. So some people say all day long, and then they want to move away from the bedside nursing. We also have an alternative for you. It's called Clinical Documentation Improvement Practitioner Training Program. Okay, so this program, what it does is that it equips you, it's an 8-week course. It equips you to be able to work remotely as a registered nurse here in the US. So imagine if your husband is working remotely and you are working remotely as well. So both of you stay at home in the morning, you wake up, everybody go to their computer, see what tasks you have to do it, and then you have time for the kids. That way you can appear in all your child's PTA meeting. Because I used to ask myself when I go for some of those PTA meetings, I say, how are these people doing it? Don't they work? Until I discovered the code. Some people have actually been so smart enough to discover the kind of work someone who has little children should be doing in the US. You understand? Because you have to be available for those kids. You can imagine that you are at work and your husband is at work and you are called that your child has fever. You have to leave the work and then go and pick up your child and go to hospital. There are so many eventualities that happen with childbearing. But if you're working from home, you can easily do this, come back and do your whatever. Or you carry your computer, go to where you're going, and then do it from there. Okay, so this is one of those things that you can do. You can do this course. You would say it's expensive, but $1,000 is not, because if you come to the US, this money is something you get in 1 week. All right, so it's not. You can do it, get into the program and then work remotely for the rest of your time as a registered nurse in the US. There's this lady that we have helped. I was just going to play her video right now so that you can listen to what she had to say about the program. She's in the US right now. We helped her to do the program and she's done with the program. This is just one. Many have done it. A lot of people have transitioned to just doing remote jobs, doing clinical documentation for different hospitals. Let's see.
No sound, please.
So are you guys hearing the video? Because I can hear. Is everybody having
No,
the same?
there's no sound.
No sound? Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Well, we can skip the video. I tried to increase the volume. Let's see if I do it again. Sound yet?
Still no sound.
Okay, so we can skip it. But it's just a video of a lady. She's of Nigerian descent, and she did the program and finished in 3 weeks. The program was actually 8 weeks, but she finished it in 3 weeks. And then she landed her first job, and she's doing well. There's multiple people who have done the same as well, and they are doing well here in the US. So it all depends on you. If you want to take chances on that when you come over to the US, you can let us know and we can help you with the training, and you can as well become like her that works from the comfort of her home. All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear.
So let's continue. Let's continue before we take questions again. We'll continue with just we're getting there gradually. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of NCLEX things. So a lot of people been expecting some changes on the NCLEX program. Good news. We've not had any news from NCSBN that there are going to be any change on the format of questions. So we're still going to be continuing with the NGN question, okay? Which is good because I kind of get so nervous whenever they say there's going to be a change. You understand? Like they did last year, they said they're going to be a change. They are introducing NGN. A lot of people panicked, but now there is nothing like that. So we didn't hear anything, which means we'll continue and maintain status quo. There is nothing again. I was expecting, because when they did the change with the NGN, they lowered the standard. They changed some things like you can now answer SATA questions and get partial mark and the rest of them. But none of that is happening right now. So which is a good thing, which is very, very good. Normally, they would always say at the 1st of April that they're going to start doing something different, but they're not doing it this year. So if you haven't written your NCLEX, this is a good opportunity. At least people who are training you are still, for us, we still know the code of whatever we've given to the people that have been passing all along. So we can as well help you. Decency NCLEX Academy is there for you. We can help you to go through the training and pass and then become a USRN. Get that title. There's something special with that title. Once you get it, even though you are in South Africa or in Nigeria or in Kenya, you will know that your one leg is there, another leg is already in the US, because that title is a lifetime title. Once you're a USRN, it does not how will I say, expire. Yes, you can renew your license if it expires, but but it's not like you're going to take another exam. It's just for you to meet some criteria and then pay money and then your license get renewed, just like every other nursing license. Okay, so get in all your gettings, get NCLEX. It's very important. Is very, very important. So if you don't have your NCLEX yet, this is the new year. Please kindly go ahead, reach out to us, and we can help you process. We can do the registration and also do the we can do the registration and review for you. So the 2 R's that you need in your NCLEX is the registration and the review. Once we get those 2 things knocked out, you go ahead, take your NCLEX, and then it will be a pass. All right. So you reach out to us. Then another thing again is that some agencies like the UWorld, the CGFNS, the what is it called? All those agencies that we know that are involved with the processes, with the registration. I think something happened to them this year, except for UWorld. Every other person added, except for UWorld that added $20 on their services. Every other person did not add any money. So the CGFNS that has been $485, what we normally do is when we get this information, before the end of the year, we encourage people to register, because if you don't, by January 1st, they're going to add, sometimes they add $50. You know, when I did my CGFNS, we know how much I paid for my CES report is $129. $129. They kept on increasing it from 2015 to now. It is now $485. Okay, so now, right now, there is nothing like increment in that fee. Okay, but I know that by maybe next year, they would try to do something. And you know where they're taking it next from $485 is going to be above $500. You understand? It will be above $500. So I just want to encourage you, if you want to take advantage of that low prices in the system, take advantage of the low prices in the system. Majority of these agencies did not increase some of their fees this year. So take advantage of that. It will go a long way in helping you cut costs on your program. And for those in African countries, congrats to you, because we now have a center for NCLEX in Kenya. And Kenya just recently announced that they have visa-free for all countries in Africa, except for 2 countries. I think only 2 countries that they put. Every other country are visa-free. So they can actually get into their country free of charge. You just pay a little token, you know, which is not like that you're paying for a visa, but just like e-visa, and then you'll be able to secure a visa, go to those countries and take your exam. So for those people that they don't have NCLEX centers in their countries, don't even complain about it, because it's now closer to you than you think. So if Kenya can have it, by God's grace, one day Ghana will have it. One day Nigeria will have it. So it's coming closer. Before they wrote off the whole continent of Africa, none of us could have a center. But right now they are changing their mind. South Africa has it, and then Kenya has it. The next place we are looking at is Ghana. If Ghana could get it, then the next place is going to be Nigeria. So it's coming closer. By God's grace, is going to happen. So that's the update for those, particularly in Nigeria. There's still a little bit of challenge with those people who just finished school and want to come out and come to the US. One of the things I want to let you know is that the process of coming to the US these days is long. Okay, it's long. This is something that we tried to explain to the registrar of the Nursing and Midwifery Council last year when we were battling with the verification suspension, you know, but he didn't understand. But they went ahead and made a law that if you finish your school, you have to spend 2 years before you can get verified by the NMCN. So that law is still in effect. So if you finish your program in any Nigerian institution, you have to spend 2 years post-study before, but there is a caveat to it. For those of you that go through the university route, if you go through the university route and you take your NMCN, Nursing and Midwifery Council, at year 3 or thereabouts, so by the time you're finishing at 5th year or the 4th year, depending on your school program, you should be able to have had 2 years after your license, and you should be able to verify. But for those people that go through the HND or diploma program, that you just come out in 3 years, you might not be able to get verified immediately. So that's the caveat that we are looking at. And we are still hoping that the new registrar will change it. Right now, they don't have a new registrar. So if you want to talk to this one that is there, a lot of people that have sent to see if we can get an audience, he says, I am just an acting registrar. By the time they give you people a registrar, then you can discuss those items with the person. And I heard that this one that is there is also going to be retiring very soon. So by God's grace, if we get somebody who can listen to us, we can explain some of these things. There's nobody that starts a US process at the end of your school training and goes and leaves the country. Even going in 2 years now is difficult. You understand? So if 2 years post license is what they want, the US process will give it to them. The Canadian process will give it to them. Some of these processes are very long now. You understand? So if they can listen to us, and based on that, we can give them empirical evidence of people who have started, who finished their process and still in the queue, and I don't even have an interview date yet. You know, if they can take that, by God's grace, they can let us start verifying people who are fresh out of school. So that's the update I have about that. Solution to procrastination. Solution: just stop procrastinating and focus on the long-term consequences of not completing this task. That's your USRN goal. So if you can focus on the long-term consequences, the future, the bright future you want to give your family, your children, how you wanted them to be in a better place, focus on not being able to provide that. Like a rude boy is not a good example, but there's a rude boy that asked his father, what were you doing when your mates were buying shares in different companies? What were you doing when your mates were buying land in the city? And the dad was like, you have to grow up to go and buy for your own kids. But what I'm saying in effect is that some of these things, if you start now to do some of your process, you would find out that by the time we get to half of this year, you should have gotten your USRN. At least you should have, if you get registered in our academy, by June or July this year, you should have gotten your NCLEX. And then the remaining part of the year, you can use it to apply for OF1 visa, and then you find yourself in the US, or go for any H1B, or go for the study route, anyone you want to do. So all these things are going. There are going to be naysayers after this, my video. There's going to be a lot of people who come out and say it's a lie. Don't mind them. Those destiny extinguishers, they will try to extinguish your lights. Please don't let them do that. Go ahead, get your NCLEX done. And then when you get your NCLEX done, choose a route, follow through with it. And before you know it, you'll be in a different place. All right, different, but better. All right, so this is something that you may or may not agree with, but it's something to just motivate you. All right, so during COVID, this is like salary of US registered nurses. So let's see, let me just go through it a little bit. Trying to see. Okay, so this is the monthly salary. You might agree, you might not agree. I don't know what you think in your mind. So, but this is how it works, okay? So before 2010, 2013, when the minimum wage was low, travel nursing was very, very unofficial at that time. People didn't want to move around. At that time it was, people were earning around $3,000 monthly on travel nursing. And 2014, 2017, things moved up a little bit. Inflation, minimum wage increased. So people traveled for as much as $6,000 a month. And things were cheap. So the cost of flights to go to different places was cheap. Cost of getting a house and hotel was cheap. So all those things were kind of very affordable at that time. So within 2018, 2020, we saw a jump, because the COVID came in 2019, COVID-19. So at that time, it jumped, and then in 2021, it jumped again. So 2021, most travel nurses that traveled around 2021, they were earning $5,000 per week. So if you're earning $5,000 per week, then you end up with a net income of $20,000 a month. Okay, so this $20,000 a month was an average. People earned more than that. I know nurses that earned $8,000 during COVID. I know nurses that earned, but after COVID, there's been a downward trend of how much travel nurses earn. There's been a downward trend, but it's still hanging between $3,500 and $5,000 yet. So, but there's a lot of people are unwilling to offer the 5,000 in an alarming rate. Then people were being begged to quit their job and come to different states that were having crises to work in those states and earn as much as $5,000 or even more. So a lot of people who were here in that era made a lot of money, okay? And then 20 whatever, I don't know, it might go up to 40,000, 30,000 or whatever. And I didn't put any figure there. It can go up to 50,000, I don't know. Who knows if there's any pandemic that will come again? I'm not praying for it, but this is just what I'm telling you. You have to make that decision. I put this here to encourage you, not to discourage, to encourage you that even though things are hard, some people who come here with their full chest and are able to undertake, the stress of traveling from one place to another, living from one house to another, not knowing the next place you're going to go and work for next month, they are able to put some money in their bank account. Okay, as they are doing this, also remember that the more you earn, the more taxes you pay, the more bills you have to pay, because you will have a home. Before you can qualify to be a travel nurse, you have your primary residence. So you might live in Texas, you have a house in Texas, you're paying for that house in Texas, and then you're traveling to go to New York. So in New York, you have another house. So you're paying for two houses. You pay your rent in Texas, you also pay your rent in New York. So you're going to be, paying that two rent. But also, if you look at the amount right there, $20,000 is something that people would die for. So that's something I wanted to mention to encourage you. If this is the encouragement you're looking for, yeah, this is it. If you want to do it, get into it and start doing it. Okay, so we have a lot of services in DNA that we render. Most of the services is aimed at helping you to live your American dream, United Kingdom dream, Canadian dream, whatever dream you have. We can help. We can even help you when you're living the dream, like the Novel training services, to be better placed when you come to the US, give you all the information that you need. And we can also help non-nurses to also get a study visa, get admission into the US, and come here and work. All right, so we get all these things, get you licensed to practice in the US, get admission for you. Decency Academy has further services like all the complete registration packages, credential evaluation and all that. I don't want to dwell so much on that. We have the NCLEX one-on-one. Come on, our one-on-one program is like the best NCLEX program in the world right now, because most of the people that go through that program, they come out successful. Just like a lot of people don't like sharing their testimony because of village people, but I know that many people has come out from our one-on-one program. Every month we have, in fact, we are really recruiting right now because we have pressured in our one-on-one program because of the influx of people that want to do this one-on-one program with us. So how does the one-on-one program work? Once you are ready for your NCLEX, you are done your registration, come to us, we'll assign a particular tutor for you. It's well-seasoned professional teacher. You understand? The person will be on you, first of all, get in touch with you. You guys will create a calendar of how you're going to be learning for the next 1 month. And you follow that learning program. And there is also an avenue for you to be doing questions as you're studying. So it's all around. This is custom made. When you say something is custom made, it's made for you particularly. So we identify your weakness and we try to work with you to make sure that you're strong on those areas. So we also help you with the NMCN, Board of Nursing Registration, jurisprudence, criminal background, FBI, fingerprinting cards, all those things we do. These ones Pearson VUE. And just to mention, we are now partnering with Pearson. I'm going to be bringing them here in April. So keep your gaze on this program, man. We are going places this year. So we're now partnering with Pearson. I'll bring one of their program directors here next month. Okay, they've also given me the award that they'll be on our program next month. So just wait for us. You will see that flyer. Once you see that flyer, come on board and we can discuss what they are offering. All right. So if you want to get any of those services that we mentioned, just send us an email at Decency NCLEX Academy at gmail.com. Go to our website. You can see them as well. You can register for class through our website. And then that's it. Okay. How to get a job in the US. So we're talking you now. So we've finished talking about the company. Let's talk you. So how do you get a job in the US? So it depends on what kind of job you want to get. So some of you might have a clear job that you want to do when you come into the US, like the spouses, especially, some of your spouses are medical doctors, some of your spouses are like, lab scientists, that when you come in, you're going to take your boards and then you get into that field. But there are some people that already like, you are in a field where you know that even your qualification is not what you're working in Nigeria. Like you read Igbo language and then you're working in the bank as a bank director or something. And then you come to the US, you don't have the qualification to work in that same bank sector again. So now when you come to the US, you have to start, even before you come to the US, you have to start asking yourself, what job am I going to do when I come to the US? So if you know the job you want to do, that's awesome. Then you can now start the search. Okay, you can now start looking at, okay, how do we now search? What kind of job, what kind of opening, your career plan and everything. So there's a way to also go about it. So once you get to know what you want to do, then you might not, okay, one thing that I want to let you know is that you might not want to read what I have to say next. it might offend or challenge your expectation. A lot of people have so many expectations of coming to the US, okay, especially spouses. You know, most of them believe that when they come over here, things will get better on day one. It doesn't get better on day one, okay? It's gonna get tough before it gets better. I'm telling you the gospel truth. Okay, so now landing in the US with a work visa does not mean that you get rich or stay in the United States for life. You understand? It doesn't mean that. What it means is that you have actually arrived in the US. Is now for you to walk into that affluence or that wealth that you have created in your mind. Okay, so what we are going to see is the reality of US market as of today. You might not like it, but unfortunately, is the profile, if your profile or expectation doesn't match this market, it's not going to happen. So sorry to disappoint you. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that, you know, what I'm about to show you is going to open your mind in what the US market is all about, the things that you're going to see in the US market. Okay, it might be a different thing for you when you come over here. What I've seen many people doing is that they come over here and their husband, maybe the spouse gets to start working in the hospital as maybe in the kitchen department, or, you know, some of those ancillary departments in the hospital. They just start working there. You know, it can also be one of the things that you would do. So as a reminder, before continuing your search, you have to have a firm idea of what you want to do, know the kind of visa that you have, and what kind of visa that your job requires. Okay, most popular thing that you have to, you know, do is to go to these websites: Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Google's for Job, Career Builder, Monster, FlexJob, LinkUps, Simply Hired, and ZipRecruiter. You can go to all these places to look for jobs, and also when you're looking for those jobs, look at how much that the job is paying. Okay. So if you look at how much the job is paying, you'll be able to find out what your job title will be. So this is the big thing I wanted to, you know, let all of us know. Most times when you come to the US without being prepared for what the US has for you, you find yourself earning minimum wage. Okay, minimum wage of like $14 or $13, $13.95 per month. You understand? That's the minimum wage per hour. Sorry, this is what you earn per hour. Okay, per hour. All right. So you find yourself earning this amount. You know that there's going to be friction in the family, because the amount you're earning might not even be able to pay your house bills, your rent, your light bill, your water bill, your sewage, your whatever, what is it called, waste, you know, all those kind of things. You might not be able to pay all of that, you know, so you might find yourself struggling if you don't prepare. That's why I said pick up those remote jobs. They are hot jobs. They can pay you even more than this. Okay, so starting January 2022, so US adopted a $15 per hour minimum wage. So anybody that is employing you within the US, if you are within the US, you pay $15. The person pays $15. 9 states have passed law to do this, and I think only California has reached that. Every other state is just climbing to get to $15 per hour. All right, so these are the side job that a lot of people do when they come over here: DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, Zomato, delivery, or whatever. So, but all these things I'm showing you now, majority of them, like I know a guy who I'm helping, he just came into the US. So the guy is driving this Uber, doing DoorDash. There's another one that he told me last time that we met that he was doing. But I asked him, how much are you able to make, like, at the end of the day? He said if he works very well, like from dusk to dawn, if he works very well, he earns like about $120 a day. You understand? That's how much he's able to earn. That's without taxes. So the taxes will still come and then, you know, take some of it. You know, taxes in the US is like 25 to 30%. So, you know, you can just figure out how much that he'll be keeping at the end of the day. So these are the best delivery jobs that we have. They pay like $18 to $25 per hour on average. They have Amazon. People do Amazon jobs. Those ones pay like $25 also. So there's also this. You know, people go into this. You might not really like it. It's not a good job for people who have young children, because it means that you have to be driving truck across the US. Like you can start from California and go to New York or Maine. You understand? Which means your family may not be able to see you in 1 week until you return. But there is money in it. There's a lot of money in trucking. So a lot of people are getting into trucking, even if it's not that they are buying they're driving it. Most people are buying these trucks and putting them out there for people to drive it for them. Okay, so it's also one of the ways that people make money here. There's been a lot of shortage of qualified truck drivers. So a lot of people are getting into trucking in the US. All right, so we're going to take question again, and then we would see what we have next for our program. All right, so if you have any question, just raise up your hand. We'll take your question, and then we'll go from there. Have any question, raise up your hand, and we'll take it. I think we had somebody that had a question. Her hand is not raised right now. We can take her question when she comes on board. All right, so come on, guys, ask your questions and let's get rolling. All right, you have any questions that we can take? Let me look at the comment section. Okay, Tabitha, I've given you permission to unmute. You can ask your question.
Thank you very much. And God
Welcome.
bless you for sharing this knowledge with us. For me, I have tried severally, even before NCLEX journey, to try and catch on with a remote job. But I always do. I joined, how do you call it? NCLEX. Then there was another one, Seek. Then there was another, so many, but I didn't really get to. Some, they will even book me for interview. I do the interview, then they will tell me they have moved on. So I just, even presently after NCLEX 2, I'm even trying to at least get something to raise funds if we are to go. I have a family of 6. So that is my aim now. And I'm asking, will this RN certificate earn me that position? Is it possible?
All right, so let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a few questions, Tabitha. So do you have any skills, any tech skills when you're applying for those remote jobs?
Okay, the skills they normally, okay, I'm a general nurse, and I also did first degree public health, second degree public health. So with the aspect of counseling, nutritional therapy, and the rest, I sometimes get some people, because I have my CV floating all over these places. Sometimes they even reach out to me and book an interview.
I think you're going to get. The thing is now, I don't know what you tell them and what they want to hear in interviews. But I'm going to try and do another program on interviews, because sometimes if I'm to go for an interview now, I will make sure that I understand. I'll make sure that I understand the people that are there on the program, what they are looking for. You understand? Because when you know what they are looking for, you can, claim that you have that, and then you become a good candidate for them. For instance, if you are interviewing me and I notice that you're asking me a question, do you have knowledge of Microsoft? Let me just take that for instance. Then I will tell you, yes, what kind of Microsoft are you talking about? I have this basic skill, but I know I also have that. By that time, you broaden the area that you want to get my knowledge about, and I will say, yes, that I have it. Even though I may not have it at that time, it's something that I can still go back and work on, but I can say, yes, that I have it, and get that job and spend the next 2-3 weeks soaking myself on how to get that knowledge that you want me to have. You understand myself? So you understand what I'm saying? So it depends on what they really want to find out from you. at those interviews. You understand? Because for the fact that you're getting job interviews, sometimes they reach out to you by themselves. It means your CV is perfect. You know, it's attracting them, but you're not just keeping them based on what you tell them at that interview. So, but you should be able to land one. Just keep on submitting, keep on working on it, and then also improve your skill, your interview skills. I think you should be able to find one. Okay, Tabitha?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
You're
But
welcome.
I'll reach out.
All right. So, Esogene O'Hare, you can unmute and ask your question. Let's try and see if we can finish before the top of the
Okay,
hour.
thank you, boss.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for this wonderful meeting. It's been so enlightening. I want to ask a question regarding the remote jobs. I wanted to know if people from other countries other than USA can also like get the remote jobs and work. And then also if you have the links of companies that offer tech remote jobs, I would really love to have the links. Because getting the link is another thing and then applying is another thing.
Okay. So now there are so many remote jobs. Some of them will categorically state for US citizens or residents. Okay. For those ones, if you're not in the US, you can't apply for them. But there are many jobs that does not say for US residents. For that one, you can apply. Okay. And then the best way to do this is go to Upwork. I'm going to put that upwork.com on the comment section. Okay, so upwork.com. So if you go to upwork.com, you can see different profiles of different people who are getting jobs. And one thing about that is that if you go there, you will see how much many people have earned on the platform. A lot of Indians are there, a lot of Filipinos are there, a lot of people from these Asian countries are there, many of them, and they are making a lot of money. You understand? So if you go there, you see all the skills that they have and how much they are making. You understand? Then what you will now do is to create your own profile and put your skills that you have. And then you will see companies reaching out to you for interview. Okay? So that's basically how to attract some of those jobs. But for sure, you can find so many jobs that you can do without having to be in the US. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, so then let's take question from, you're welcome. So let's take question from Paul Ejiba.
Thank you, boss. As always, you've always been there first. Please, boss, my concern is on getting job offer from Canada. For me that wrote NCLEX using a board from Canada, like I wrote with Nova Scotia, it's as if, let me not say the journey is ending with just writing NCLEX. I don't know where to move from here. Is there any way you can please help us?
Yeah, so, last year, this is one of my major
Sorry
programs.
to say again, I actually contacted you, referred me to somebody today, but the person seemed not to, have something for me for Canada. She still referred me to another person for visa screening for USA, but I really want Canada.
So what you want is that you want to change, the request I saw is that I want to change my Canadian nursing board to US. Is that what you wanted to do?
No, I'm not the one that wrote that. I want to process for Canada, really. Okay. I wrote to it in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So
So
I don't know how to go.
Do you know, I think Alberta, so Canada is by province, okay? A lot of province have their own autonomy. They can decide what they do with their province, okay? Like the Nova Scotia is a province. So that's why they have this thing they call Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. You understand? So for their PNP program, the province can nominate that they want to get somebody from Nigeria to come and work for them, that they need nurses. You understand? So for Nova Scotia, their province has been so quiet on the recruitment that they They are actually the one that asked for this. They put it out there on their website.
And they're not doing anything.
I said clearly, yes. I said clearly that they need people to come. A lot of people rushed into the pool. A lot of people got their NCLEX. They stated what their requirements are. They stated countries that they want to get people from.
Yes.
You know, they mentioned our country, Nigeria. They mentioned several other African countries. A lot of people got into it. You understand? And then they now, when the people now met all the criteria, the last thing on that criteria is now to get a job. And for you to get a job in a province, you have to go through the province because it's provincial nominee program. You understand? Yes. So because we are unable to get jobs from the province, what so many people have done now is to reapply to other provinces. You understand? So people are reapplying to Arbata and then doing it through Arbata. I know Arbata program is going. They even have some agencies that help people that are with Arbata Nursing Board to do their process.
Please, can I have the agency? I don't know.
Yeah, so reach out to me at the end. I just need to pull it out from my phone and I'll send it to you. I don't have it off heart. But I know if you go back and register with Arbata, you can get in the line. It has to be, it's gonna be a roller coaster because they would make you do verification, they will make you do all the processes again because it's another province. They cannot transfer whatever you have with Nova Scotia to Arbata. You have to go through it again, do all the registration, pay the application fee, do the NANS and everything. But at the end of it, that one is moving. For sure, that one is moving. So different other agencies, which I might not be able to mention their name right now, are also, getting people from for their province. So it depends. So let's look into that and see how far we can go in getting you a job from that area, from that Arbata group. Okay.
Okay, sir. So for whatever process they may want me to go through again, it will not involve writing NCLEX again.
No. NCLEX is a lifetime. The only thing is that you might just do an endorsement. You can do an endorsement of your NCLEX to that.
But I will contact you once we finish this.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. So now the next person that will ask us question is Adewale. Adewale, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
My question is on this immigration stuff. Sir, because when you talk, you said when I was in the program with you, you were saying you advise nurses who are not done NCLEX to try and write their NCLEX, and then they can get this FO1, H1B, and other routes to get to the US. So I just want to ask, based on what is trending now, what President Trump is doing, and what is our fate as regards this EB3 stuff? Because it's like there is no movement. Is it going to be closed down? Is it, like, to me, I don't even, is there any way forward? Does it mean we should change our route? Maybe those of us that have putting for I-140 now, some of us are still expecting approval due to progression and everything. Everything is just on a standstill. Are we not saying that we should go through other routes like this study route, each one this stuff and everybody? So what's your advice to us on this as regards our EB3, sir?
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, so now the best way to approach that question is patience. Okay, patience in the sense that very soon, what I'm looking at in this whole system is that very soon what is going to be like is the visa bulletin will be moving. It will start moving forward. I'm not expecting it to move backwards. It's going to move forward. Okay. But when it starts moving forward, you will notice that it will move like 2-3 months to capture some people. So it will be an intentional movement to capture people who have been on the line for a long time. You understand? So I'm not expecting it to become current with all the things that is going on now. You understand? Because you know he's clamping down on immigration. Immigration is on the news and everything. So there are some people that work in these agencies. It's not robot that work there, it's human beings. And they listen to some of this news. And some of them are pro-Trump. So they would, if Trump say jump, they will say how high? Like they will say like they will jump more than even, if Trump said jump 2 feet, they will jump 7 feet because they know that, you know, they are just going to carry this on their head and run with it. That's what I'm trying to say. So some of those people, overzealous actors in the system, will push this further. You understand? They're going to push it a little bit further. But what you will notice is that there's still going to be pressure coming from different sectors. Like you cannot avoid the fact that US needs nurses. You understand? People will start crying from different hospitals, managers, decision makers, senators. They all have mothers. They all have people that go to hospitals and they tell them we are short-staffed. You understand? And they will feel the pinch. And from there, policies will be made that will start recapturing people, but it will be a gradual process. So what I can say is, if you have something you're doing in whichever country you are, be it Africa, South Africa, Nigeria, anywhere, you know, if you have something you're doing, like you're working, you know, and you don't want to go to UK or any of these countries, just want to come to the US, just keep working. If you want to have your children, you have babies, don't pause your life for this process. Don't say, I'm going to put everything on pause. Tell your husband, no more babies until we get to the US. You understand? You don't have a date yet. So what I'm saying is continue your normal life as though there is no US plan. It will come. You understand? The US plan is going to come. When it will come, nobody knows. Nobody, I can't stay here and today and predict for you that it's going to be tomorrow or next month. I can't do that. But what I can do, what I can tell you is that so far you are in the line, you're in the queue, you're going to be captured one day. You're going to definitely be captured, and it won't be long because pressures will build up. You understand? Once there's that pressure that builds up in the system, they will start capturing people, and it will start moving like maybe 6 months to capture a lot of people. They give IDs, they will go because these are legitimate people that are going for interview. You understand my point? So everybody is panicking in the system, and that will cause things to freeze for some time. But after that, there's going to be a gradual capturing. It's been there. The retrogression has lasted for so long. People are expecting it to do nothing more than moving forward, not moving backward at this point. So let's look at February and March bulletin, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, Adewale.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from Fumilayo. Fumilayo Wolabi. You can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, Boss D.
Good evening. How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. Thank you always, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, please, I want to ask a question for if someone is already you have already filed in I-140, the EB3, and you want to change route to Canada route. Transferring of the license from whichever board of nursing in US to Canada, both of them, I don't know, I want to ask, do they have effect on each other? If you transfer from Texas Board of Nursing to Canada, does that mean that your license is no longer with Texas, that you are now with Canada? That's my question. Or you can be running the two routes concurrently without anyone affecting each other. Thank you, sir.
So now, the way that US licenses work is that once you have a US RN license, you can work in Canada, you can work in US, you can work in Australia. These 3 countries will accept you, okay? You can endorse in these countries and work there. But when you come to the country now, you cannot endorse in the US. You cannot say I'm endorsing with United States government. You have to endorse with the State Board of Nursing. Okay, so which is that Texas that you're talking about. So when you endorse with Texas, it means you have Texas license. Okay, so you can maintain that Texas license by paying the annual license fee. You understand? Every year or every 2 years, you go and pay the license fee, you will still have their license. Any day that you don't pay their license fee, the license will expire. But that doesn't mean that you cannot reactivate it. It will just be inactive. And any day you want to use it, you come back again and then you pay and you can use it. For instance, I have Texas license, I have Colorado Board of Nursing license, I have Virginia license, I have District of Columbia license. So I have these 4 licenses, right? So anyone I want to, like, the only one that I have that is active now is Virginia. Anyone I want to use from those ones I've used before, all I have to do is to reach out to the Board of Nursing, quote my license number with them, reactivate it, or pay the license fee, and it becomes active. Okay, that's how it works. Now, coming to a different country, like if you're endorsing in Canada, for instance, you have to go to either Nova Scotia or Alberta or any of those provinces, and then you license with them. You present proof to show that you have passed your NCLEX, and they will give you a license number to practice in their state, in their province. You understand? That means you will now have their own license. And as long as you are in status, your license is not revoked, you didn't commit any crime, you will continually have that license. You understand? So it does not mean that, that when you move or switch places, you will lose your license. You won't. Okay?
Okay, sir. That means it won't affect my EB3 online if I decide to have license with Canada.
No, it won't. The Canada is a different country. It will not affect your
Okay.
EB3. Though,
okay, sir.
Though the only thing is that some agencies that are nosy would like to know where you're going. You understand? And if you tell them you're in Canada, they'll begin to lose confidence in you. Why? Because they will think that by the time they finish processing you, that you might not be able to come out immediately and come to the US. You understand? Because you're already committed to whoever that employed you in Canada. So they will begin to, that's why most of them shy away. And they also want to make sure that you're working in the same kind of hospital facility that is at par with the US hospital that want to employ you. For instance, if they are employing you to a 1,000 bedded capacity hospital, and then you are in Canada working in nursing home, you understand? They will feel like your skill set is not the same with the skill set of the US, and they might not continue with your application. You understand? So that's one thing that you have to always put in mind when you're switching jobs.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. That's
You're
sorry, sir.
welcome.
My last question, though I put it as a message but a chat, but you've not read it, is about the student routes in US. Is it which of the courses can you advise for someone to do that will allow migration with family, sir?
That's MSN in nursing, Masters in nursing.
Yes, MSN, sir. MSN, sir.
Just go ahead and do your MSN in nursing. Basically, just MSN in nursing. If you want, you can, if you have all the criteria, which I don't think so, but if you have all the criteria, you want to do like nurse practitioner program, you can. But what I can advise is you can go ahead and do MSN in nursing. Just get your MSN, Masters in nursing, that's all. Okay?
So, sir, if I want to do something like a nurse practitioner, I can also go ahead. They will allow me to come with my family.
Some schools will, but it depends on the school that the agencies are working with. What kind of program do they offer? But this interstaff program, the one I know for sure, they are offering MSN in nursing. So you're going to get your master's in nursing. You understand, when you come out of the program.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
God bless you, sir. Yes, sir.
You're welcome. All right. So the next person is Chigatara.
Okay.
Unmute yourself.
Good evening. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to ask this question.
Yeah, where are you calling from, Chigatara?
I'm calling from Ghana.
Okay, go ahead.
One of my colleagues did the EB3. I think they file and date everything, and his priority date is September 2023. And recently he had a fire burnt, and all his documents got burnt, original certificates got burnt. So when he did follow up, it's like some of the agencies couldn't get, the institutions couldn't get some of the original documents for him. So I wanted to know what is his fate when they give him interview date, what will be his fate? Will they
So,
disqualify him or it will not affect him?
no. Time will fail me to tell you an incident that happened like this, almost exactly the same thing you're talking about. And another one too, so, but they won't disqualify him, but he needs to get evidence that happened. Like police report that there was a fire, you understand? You have to go and file a police report that there was a fire in your house that gutted your house and all your documents was, then you now file single affidavit of ownership to different document that you lost in that fire incident. You can have affidavit for your visa screen, affidavit for your West African Examination Council result, affidavit for your nursing school certificate, affidavit. You can have affidavit for all of that. So you get an affidavit for all of those things that you lost, plus an affidavit to show, plus a filing, a police report to show that there was a fire in your house. If you know how to get a picture, get a picture of those instances or those times when just things that you can go to the embassy with to present it to the embassy and they will be able to. But a huge number of your documents can be retrieved. For instance, you can go to your nursing council in Ghana and get another certificate. If you prove it to them, they can issue another certificate for your nursing program. And then you can go to all this your NCLEX can be retrieved, it's online. If you go to nurses right now, give me your name and your date of birth, I'll pull up his NCLEX transcript. I can pull it up by myself. You understand? So there are different, all these ones he did with the US governments or US bodies, they can all be retrieved. Both CGFNS, they can all be retrieved. You understand? But the one of primary school, secondary school, all of that, he will need to just get an affidavit for it if it is needed. You understand? It won't be a problem.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so let's go ahead with Grace. Grace, your question. You can unmute and ask your question, Grace.
Okay. Thank you so much, Basti.
You're welcome.
My question is, I think I'm confused about something. Especially about Canada. Now, I'm planning on writing my NCLEX, starting the journey. From what I've browsed online, I realized that and then from there you can now put the province that you want. And after you've done all this and write NCLEX, if, for instance, you want to go through express entry to Canada, what's going to happen? Because I realized that NAS requires IELTS academic, and then express entry, you need worse, and then you need IELTS general. What's going to happen?
So many people that
Like, are you writing the two?
Yes, many people that I've seen wrote the two. I've seen somebody with such question, and the way the lady did it is that she has to go back and write general for that. So she's actually currently processing for the US, got the academics for the process of the whatever, and then when it goes to the other side of the process with the express entry, was required to get the general, and she had to write it again and got that. So that's what the lady did, I know there are other examination options that are not IELTS that is also accepted that might be a little cheaper and then a little bit, how will I put it, easier to maneuver. So that's also an option that you can look into if you decide to go forward.
Sorry.
You said?
Like which
like
other examinations?
TOEFL, like this one that is organized by Pearson. They call it, is it TLS, I guess? Yes, so TOEFL is one of them. You can do TOEFL.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll be bringing Pearson here. So this is also one of the questions that they can as well answer for you. So the Pearson will be coming in, they'll be coming next month with their program that we're partnering with them on. So when we come with the Pearson guys, you can come as well and ask them about their acceptable English scores for Canada.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you, Grace. Let's go to Lois. Lois, you're going to be the last person to ask us question today. Then we will, I think, okay. After Lois, then we'll go to Esogene, and that's it. All right, go ahead, Lois. You can unmute and ask your question. Are you ready? Okay, let's take Esogene.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for
You're
another
welcome.
opportunity. Mine is not a question, it's just a reminder for you to drop that you said, is it Upwork or something
Yeah, I did. Did you
on
see?
the
Did you
chat?
not see it on the? I did drop it.
No.
Okay,
I
I'll
didn't
type
see
it
it,
in
sir.
again. I'll type it in again.
Maybe you typed and maybe you didn't send it. You
All
didn't
right,
drop.
sir. Thank you.
No, what's in? Okay.
Thank you,
I sent
sir.
it to the. Okay, I'm sending it again now. So this is a place that you can go and look for jobs, you create a profile and then put all your skills there. And then also there's another one that is called, it's called Fiverr. So you can also, go there and create a profile with them as well. I don't know why it's not showing up as links. So, but let me see if I can make them show as links. Stop share. All right, so let me go and copy their links and then we can show that. I wanted to take one more question, then we can close. Perpetual, you can ask your question while I get the links.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You're
Sir,
welcome.
please, this ACEs program you talked about, can it be done outside US?
Which program is that?
Apart from bedside nursing, there is one program you talk about, the 8 weeks. There is one for 8 weeks.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it outside of US. You understand? You can do it. You can do it from wherever. We have students from UK doing that program right now. They can work from UK as well. But one thing I wanted to mention about work is that some companies, I think I did mention it, that some companies, because of, the way that they used to hack company websites and all that, so they don't allow anything that is coming from outside of the United States that want to come into their site. They will not allow you to, be able to have access to it. So they block any access originating from anywhere outside of the United States. So that's only challenge. Some people would want you to be in the US for you to be able to access patient information, because here in the US, patient information is very, very important. So yeah, you said?
Which one? Decency, people, that place where they pay money for NCLEX.
Okay, let's mute all. Okay.
Oh,
all right. So that's it. So a lot of people might not be able to access it from elsewhere. So it might just be for people who are within the US that might be able to access their system. So, but if there are people that accept for you to access their system from outside the US, of course, you can work for them. You understand? All right. So I think that brings us to the end of our program. it's been an interesting 2.5 hours, okay, in this program. And I want to thank everybody that was here. It's amazing. We went through a lot, but I know I rushed some of these topics. In fact, right now I'm remembering all the things that I had in mind to speak, and I was not able to finish all. But subsequently, in all of our programs, we will be touching on several of these, issues after our guest has finished speaking. So when we bring a guest for this program, when they talk to you at the end of their speech, when they leave the program, me and you guys can have time to discuss. So during that time, maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes, as questions begins to come, we can treat any of these issues that may have been rushed and left during the presentation of this meeting. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, and I will see you next Friday. So look out for our seminar for next Friday. We are going to have a guest that will be coming for our program. He is somebody that has an interesting story about coming to the US, all the challenges that came with it, because what I want to do for the rest of this month is kind of encourage you guys. You think that you have seen it all until you see some stories. There are somebody that I'm bringing to you. His story will change your perception about, perception about, the US process. You think you have had retrogression, everything is happening in your own case and all that. Wait until you hear Mr. Kasim. He's coming on this meeting next Friday. So by next Friday, we will have Mr. Kasim. He's going to be here to tell us about his story, what transpired in his story that made his story to last. Instead of lasting, let me not go into it. I'm not going to go into it. He's going to be the one to tell us everything about his story next week. So on that note, I want to say thank you. And I will see you next